Hey everybody, it's Erin from Erin Reed Makes, and today we're going to go back and go old school and do a traditional scrapbooking page from some papers I just got in from close to my heart. A couple of photos I took while we were at Disneyland this past January. Yes, I'm actually doing a current photo. Oh my gosh, and I have not done a scrapbook page in forever. And this is all part of the Scrap Your Heart Out International Scrapbook Day video hop that Tiffany Solorio is putting on. I'm gonna go ahead and cut up these papers. I'm using all of these papers that came from close to my heart. Video link is down below for the full unboxing for all the amazing papers that are part of this collection. But let's go ahead and jump into how to create this. Now, I love to match my pictures to go with my scrapbook layout. I like to draw colors that go with it. Plus, I also love to draw colors that go with the theme. So I had to pull in the yellow and the red that were Mickey colors, and they were part of this collection, so it just made sense. I also wanted to pull in this lime green, which is where we went here. This background paper, which is just perfect. Just look at this, all these dashes. And I could really truly go either direction with it, and I've been humming and hawing about which way I like it. I don't think it matters. Maybe I'll go vertical with it just for grins and giggles, just to give it a linear, because everything else is kind of horizontal or square. Just a change of pace. And then, so his green shirt went with the green, and then in the towers in the back and also with his hat, we have the blue. Now I love this because I have a pattern paper that came from the pack. These three, the red, the yellow, and the green, came from the cardstock pack. And then this blue paper, Dreams Live Here. Well, you know how long my kids have been wanting to go to Disneyland? It's been ages. And my mother, we walked into the Disneyland Hotel, and she was just a giddy little kid because she remembers watching the Disney shows. She's almost 70, and she remembers watching as a little girl all those Disney specials that were on TV, and they showed the making of the Disneyland Hotel. And it was like she was 5, or like my daughter's age again, who's right here. So in these pictures, we have my mom and my dad, my daughter, my son, and myself. It's funny how we both orientated ourselves the same way. And for the first layout I made, I really did want to capture the fact that we went to the Magic Kingdom in Disneyland and also to the California Adventure. So we went to both parks, and these are what I would call the iconic spaces of these two parks. We have the Ferris wheel at Disneyland Adventure, and we have the castle at Disneyland. So it really just kind of encaptures and of course, in their selfies, and it's funny how, because I'm taking the selfie, I'm in the same spot, and you can see here's the lanyards that we got, and then we got more and more and more. This was day 1, this is day 2, so we got a lot more pins. We went crazy on our pins, which is pretty funny. All right, so the first step is to start sticking everything together, because right now everything is loose. This is how I love building my scrapbook layouts and how I've been doing for years. Over here I have my stickers, but the first step is to stick everything that, like, I know I want to put this on here and put everything together. Now, just as a couple of pieces of information about how to do how I've been doing scrapbook pages for years. This is just little tidbits. Number 1, I love layers. Now, you could easily cut a section out of this to save paper, but you know what? I have another sheet of this, so I'm good. It really just depends on, do I have another sheet of that paper or not? So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna use my Xyron adhesive, and I'm gonna do like 4 lines right through there, maybe 1 across right here. You could use a big Xyron. It really is up to you. And when I make a mat like this has gone down not by 1 inch, but 3/4 of an inch. I wanted to see enough of this border going around, but I also wanted to have it be the green, be the focus, just because I just loved it. So it's just a hint. I love having that extra little border around a scrapbook page. It's just one of those things I love. So what I do is I look at both these corners. Do these look about the same? And then I look at the top and the bottom. And if everything looks to be about the same distance, I just go ahead and stick it down. Now this cool paper right here has already got this really cool pattern to it. It's got this embossing to it. So it feels like I'm putting a pattern paper on top of a pattern paper. But really, truly, I'm not. I'm putting kind of like a solid on top of a pattern. I love just that there's a little bit more of a dimension to each layer. Now for here, I've just got a white cardstock. I originally had done my page where I did just the blue, and it just felt a little flat. So I thought, well, what if I added a tiny, and this is just 1/4 of an inch just a tiny little bit, and it really made it pop. So we're gonna go with it. And I love the background of this too. But again, in the pattern paper pack, you have a whole nother sheet of paper. So again, I'm lining this up right here, and then let's go ahead and stick this down. Now, a little white lie, this is not from the pattern paper pack. This is the back of another sheet that I've got like 6 of. So you know what? I wanted the white. I'm gonna hijack it. I grabbed some papers that I had in my stash, and I have so many white papers. White is white is white, and if the background is white, go with it. All right, so I'm gonna center this in here, and there that is. Love it. Guys, I've not made a scrapbook page in years. Actually, probably about a year since last. I made scrapbook pages probably about 50 a year for the better part of about 8 years. And then I just kind of got into card making because they were just faster and easier. Now, I've always been a firm believer that when you're scrapbooking, the whole point of it, the whole point of memory keeping, no matter what form, a 12 by 12 layout, a mini book, a brag book, a mini album, doesn't matter what you're doing, is the whole point is to keep those memories that you've had for ages and to remember them. And the fact that we went to Disneyland, especially right before this entire craziness happened with the whole COVID pandemic, it's really poignant. So I wanted to make sure I kept this moment in our life forever. And photo albums, whatever form of memory keeping you have, do it. It could be journaling, it could be photo keeping, it could be scrapbook pages, it could be project life. Whatever form you are doing, make sure you are capturing those important memories in your life, because those snippets of little details you're going to forget. And so we're going to come back to why journaling is so important on these pages, because they really truly are. Okay, so again, I went with the more of the pattern paper on here versus the matte paper, just because I think it adds that extra little detail. Man, these little suckers are loud, but they're cool. And I'm gonna go ahead and line this across. Now, this is my matte, and I just use regular white cardstock for this because I had it. I do not wanna cover this up. I wanna keep that intact. So I wanna make sure I have enough room, because I'm gonna put the word Disneyland in some stickers, and oh my gosh, you know how old these stickers are? You don't want to know. Actually, they might even say on here how old they are. They're from 2012. There you go. That's how ancient those stickers are. So I'm going to put my matte, and I love to matte my pictures. I can place the entire picture on here, and it's like one unit. So I love working within layers. Layers are my jam, let me tell you. Now also with this layout, if you notice, I didn't like completely center this right down the middle. I did off center this just a tiny bit. I think it adds just a little bit more interest when you off center something versus right smack in the middle. Everything else I've gone middle, 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 right in the middle. This is not middle because it's below that. So I want to off center this. And now we're going to place our pictures. Now I printed these at home. I have an Epson printer, and I truly just found an off-brand ink cartridge that I installed today, and look how amazing these pictures are. The colors are spot on, and they're quarter of the price. And also, links to all the supplies I'm using today are down in the information section. And don't forget to leave a comment. Oh my gosh, I probably totally forgot to mention that earlier. Leave a comment for your chance to win an amazing prize pack that includes some of the papers, 6x6 papers from Close to My Heart, and some other fun goodies that are from some of the wonderful companies that I work with. So leave a comment about where you live. I love to know. This is International Scrapbooking Day. So where internationally are you? Are you in the United States, Canada, Africa, Europe, Australia? I know I have lots of Australians out there. New Zealand. Do we have anybody in Europe in the house? Do we have anybody in Asia in the house? We'd love to hear where you live, because it is truly an international memory keeping day. So leave a comment. All right, so let me get these things stuck on here. And I've like rambled and rambled and rambled. Oh, so I just made the tiniest little boo-boo. I stuck some adhesive on my mom's face. So I'm gonna take my finger and I'm gonna rub. And what I love about Xyron adhesive is that it really does kind of pull right off. It is awesome, and it is gone. I just rubbed a little bit as soon as I stuck it on there by accident, and it is out of there. And the hold is amazing. When I was first scrapbooking, feels like ages ago. I was scrapbooking when my son was born. Now, it's not ages, but he is now 14. So I've been doing this for a little while. And at the time, and I still feel, I got in there kind of late in the game. Scrapbooking had been going on for, I mean, close to my heart, it's been going on for 35 years now. So for a long time, and really in its heyday. And I kind of joined in at the end, and now it's switched to more card making and mixed media and stuff. And you know, really, truly, it's just art. It's all art. No matter how you look at it, it's a form of art. All right, so let's stick this down. All right, there we go. And now I debated if I wanted to pop this up, but I really want to keep this as a pretty traditional flat layout. So if I put this in an album, look how flat this is. This is a pretty, what I would call flatty page. I've made some whoppers of what I would call more art pages. And I really do go between the traditional scrapbook page, flat page, pages that I would just like paper, stickers, pictures, you know, maybe multiple layers, but just still traditional, versus having lots of flowers and decoupage and mixed media. And I've done them all. Believe me, I've done them all. And depending on the mood I'm in, it really depends. And also the picture. The picture really does guide me into what kind of page I want to do. And these pictures have a lot going on. I want to get to the point about what the picture is. It's not an artistic picture. It's a point in life that I want to remember that had a lot going on. So I don't want to jam it up with a bunch of stuff. I want to jam it up with memories. So I tend to go with more flat pages for those. Just how I roll. So these are some really old, I don't even know if they have them anymore. I will link to what I can for supplies because this is not new. Stickers, but I loved them because it did have that little bit of a swirly vibe. So I'm gonna go backwards. Now, I'm gonna mix between, some of them have truly swirly, some of them are not. Look at the U's, see how they're different? So I'm gonna mix between them and just speed up how I'm gonna apply them. I'm gonna go right along the bottom here, right here. There we go. So what I did is I used that bottom line of that blue line that I have on here just above the white as my line. And I really did mix and match because, for instance, what was it I was mixing? The L? No, the Y? There was a couple of letters that I didn't have. I don't know, I love to look at it. Now, I know truly Disneyland does not have a big Disney and a big land. I just thought it looked kind of cool. And I had enough of the letters in this particular sticker pack to fulfill that concept. So why not? And guess what? I still have enough left that I'll probably use it on another project, maybe 10 years from now, who knows? The base of my layout is done. I really have fulfilled everything that I need to. There's just some fun, small little things that I can add in here now. So for instance, I'd love to add in these fun little stars, and we're definitely gonna add in journaling. Now, when I add little embellishments in on my page, I love to cross my lines. So I love to cross over my fun spaces that I have. Oh, I wish I had another one. Oh, there's a blue one. And there's some little pink hearts. So I'm just gonna come into the corner here. I think I'm gonna move this yellow one down. I kind of like half put my stickers down just to decide how I wanna put them in. 5 I think is best. So we're gonna add a little cluster right up here. We're gonna add some journaling right into this space. I guess I'm gonna come back to what my thoughts on journaling are here in a minute. I don't like two things too close together if they're similar, so we're going to space that out just a tiny bit. We're keeping this really simple. Like, what do you need to make a scrapbook page? You need adhesive, maybe some stickers, and paper. That's really about it. That's it. Maybe a pen. Actually, a must-have is a pen. Definitely a pen. All right, so what are some other fun things we can add? There's so many cool things on this scrapbook page, on the sticker page. Oh, here, photo op. We're gonna add this in here. Where are we gonna put this? We're gonna add this right along here, photo op. Because I really made sure, and this is just, I'm saying this more for my benefit, if I go back and watch this video. When we went around and I saw like the castle and the wheel, I told everybody, including my kids, who this picture was crazy to get. My kids were so stubborn. I don't want to take this picture. This is actually the better picture. They're both really good pictures. Some of the other pictures we took, they were like, not doing it, Mom. I'm grumpy. I'm like, here, have a churro, or let's go get a Coke right now, or seriously, there were so many times I bribed my kids with food, mostly because we walked a good 10 miles a day. Easy. I mean, I had my little Fitbit on and we walked so much. They had a blast, and they will still tell me to this day how much fun they had, but oh my God, is it just like Crazyville. Super Crazyville when you go there, but it's fun. And it was before this whole chaos happened. I mean, we kind of knew about the whole, everything that was going on at the time, but it hadn't sunk in and they hadn't closed anything down. So we literally got to go to both of these parks 2.5 weeks before everything shut down. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but we're all safe, we're all clean, we're all good, nobody's gotten sick, so it paid off, I guess is the bottom line. Now, I'm looking at the rest of this and I can't really picture anything else going on here. So the last thing that's going to happen is some journaling strips. So we're going to get some journaling strips, and we're also going to add some information into these 2 lines. So we need to get a nice pen out. All right, so when it comes to journaling, I like to write what I'm going to say off to the side just on a scratch sheet of paper. Dates are so important. Here's my little soapbox on journaling. Number 1, journal with your handwriting. There are so many things that I think are getting lost with the fact that we don't use our handwriting anymore. And so as much as I hate my chicken scratch, it's my chicken scratch. Nobody else has mine, and nobody else is gonna look like what mine looks like. So I definitely want to make sure I include that, because my kids have gone back and looked at the scrapbook pages I've made of them, of the family, and just in general, and they'll read what I wrote on there, and they're sometimes like, hey, when did that happen? How old was I? And I'm like, I don't remember. But if I put the date when I make it, it's there. So I've always put the date on there so I can go back and I'm like, I don't remember, and then I read the information and boom, it's right there on the page. I'm like, oh yeah, you were like 1.5, and like as soon as I read the information, all these memories come flooding back, and I can tell them a full and complete story because it's triggered that portion of my brain that forgot about it. So why not? All right, so I am going to really quickly practice as best as I can. So this is as long as this strip is, and I am so careful. So I'm giving myself this space. I'm going to give myself a little bit longer in case I screw it up. This is how I practice my writing because I'm so terrified I'm going to mess it up. So I practice. So I'm going to write the Reed family. All right. And then this is the same length it feels. And I am going to write, this was in January 2020. And I get the feel for how the biggest size, because I wrote it here. I feel a little more confident now that I've stuck everything down. I'm not going to screw it up. And then I'm going to write my strips. I'm going to speed that part up for you guys. All right, so I had to amend a tiny little bit about what I wrote. And truly, whenever I do the rough draft or the initial draft, from when I translate from here to here, I always kind of go, ooh, well, that really didn't fit because I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines. And I only have 5 strips because that's how many fit on the page without it looking crazy. If I added more, it would look really funny. And I could add 1 more because of space, but 5 looks better. So that's what I'm going to keep with. So I'm going to leave 5 journaling strips up here because 6 would just doesn't quite look right. So I amended a couple of things. I had to really amend the last sentence instead of a few grumbles. So this is what I wrote. A few grumbles, lots of smiles and memories made for life. Instead, I just said so many memories. So I really condensed that last sentence because it didn't make sense. The rest of it says, my parents took the kids and I to Disneyland 2 weeks before the whole world shut down. We had such a blast walking 10 miles each day and going to all but 5 rides between the 2 parks. So many memories. I already realized a little snafu. I wrote January 2020. It was February 2020 because as I was just saying, we were 2 weeks before and everything shut down by about mid-March, and we were there at the very end of February, and I wrote January. We were not there in January. We were there actually during a leap year day, which is the 29th. So I have figured out the size of how big this is. So it's how to fix the scrapbook page if you make a boo-boo. I figured out that this was a 1/2 inch by 3 3 1/4. So I cut that down to be the exact same size. I'm gonna rewrite this and make sure I don't screw it up. Now, I do not have the dotted lines, but truly, I'm the only one who's gonna know that that was there to begin with. And yeah, well, everybody else who uses, close to my heart for their scrapbook pages will know. But when things are, like all said and done, nobody's gonna know the difference in that. Whew. Easy catch. The only reason why that makes a big deal, and truly it doesn't make that huge of a deal, is if I go back and go, well, wait a second, why does that say 2 weeks before the world shut down? And my mind's going to remember what's happening right now. And this said January. I'm going to go, that doesn't make sense. So while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to fix it. So just a little adhesive on there, and we're going to fix this little puppy because that's going to drive me bananas. So line this right up. The right color of white is truly a big deal. And I know I have a Y for my January on there, but you know what? Having the right date on there is a lot more important than the fact that there's a little bit of black ink covering up right there. That's, to me, what's the more important thing. That's what's more important. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stick down my journaling strips. Now, one other thing about my journaling strips, if you are noticing, is I do not line them up identical. I also cut them different lengths on purpose. I think because the scrapbook page is so matchy-matchy in so many other ways, I love the look of them when they're differently aligned, making sure that everything is still the right order. I'm not putting them in the wrong order, because that would not be good. I love journaling strips for a couple of reasons. One, because if I mess up like there, I can fix it. 2, it allows me to kind of play around with the space. It's like another embellishment, which I think is awesome. And 3, I love this space, but I wouldn't want to add a giant white thing in the middle of here, like a big white block, because I think it just wouldn't work. So this kind of breaks up the space in here, and I can't write on the blue. It doesn't work. So what is on my page that is super important? I have the date, I have who is here, the Reed family. I said my parents, the kids, and I have where we were, and I have a little bit of information, and of course the pictures. Pictures are super important. So all the fun layers and everything about it, that's just, icing on a cake. Getting your stuff down on a page or a book or a journal or, however you are memory keeping, that's what you need to be doing. And that is the primary reason behind International Scrapbooking Day or International Paper Crafting Day or whatever this weekend today is all about, is don't forget to record your memories. It could be in the form of a recipe that you've handwritten. It could be in a diary, a journal, whatever works for you, do it, because 100 years from now, those journals, think about Anne Frank. Think about those recipe cards from your family that have been passed down from centuries ago. Think about Ellis Island, the journals that people, when they transferred over from one country to another, all that Ancestry.com, all that 23andMe. If we don't have a record, a paper written record, it's just, well, what does my DNA tell me? Well, this is a paper written record. It just happens to be pretty. But it's still the same concept as a journal that has been kept, or music, or anything that has been kept for centuries or even 50 years ago. That's the whole point of this, for people after us to remember what happened during that time frame. And more than ever right now, in our history books, we're going to be talking about what's happening in the world right now. This is a pinnacle, life-changing moment in our world. And if we don't somehow memory keep even just before what happened, the fact that we're all together with all these people, that isn't happening right now. Like this, Disney World is shut down. Disneyland is shut down. This is not functioning at all. These people are out of jobs. So we got there right before everything happened. And it's mind-blowing to me that what's happening to us. Memory keep those memories, record those memories, record those pictures, put yourself in the pictures too. I know I got a little bit of soapbox right there, but hopefully it's reminding you to not forget to maintain our sense of memories. and not just in our head. Record them in whatever way you want. All right, off my soapbox. There we go. Hope you guys have enjoyed a little bit about what an old school scrapbook page looks like to me. A little bit of fun, bright colors. Definitely an amazing memory for me. I mean, shoot, I walked 20 miles that day. Please leave a comment. I would love a comment. Thumbs up. Don't forget to hop to the next person in the video hop. I would absolutely love that. There's so many amazing crafters and art makers that you are going to find in this wonderful video hop fronted by Tiffany Solorio. She is totally amazing. Leave a comment on where in the world, because this is International Scrapbooking Day, you are watching my video, and you will get a fun little prize pack, including some 6x6 papers from close to my heart. Awesome stuff. Thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate you. Thumbs up, please subscribe, don't forget to that bell button, and I will see you guys again. And do not forget, tomorrow is a live, every Wednesday is live, and until this COVID thing is over, every Tuesday and Thursday, the kids and I are doing a live homeschool art day that you can join us with, which includes an entire gambit of different kinds of arts and crafts, because crafts fit within the art category, for your kids that also adults might enjoy. Links for the supplies are in the description, and I will see you guys again. Bye, everybody.